Worked hard to earn a promotion, only to discover my colleague falsified records to take credit for my success, leaving me with the choice between publicly exposing them or protecting my reputation and career from a workplace catastrophe. I'm 36, living in Austin, Texas, and I've been working at this mid-sized tech firm called Valence Systems for almost 10 years. I started as a data analyst straight out of college. Back then, I thought if I kept my head down and worked hard, I'd climb my way up fair and square. I believed effort was all it took. That's kind of funny to me now, thinking about how naive I was. I guess I wanted to believe in merit. Maybe because my dad raised me that way. He used to say, "Your name is the only thing you own that can't be repossessed." He worked at a local factory for 30 years and never missed a day. I admired that. I wanted to build something I could be proud of too. The company wasn't huge, but it felt big enough to matter. Everyone knew everyone's business, but promotions, those were rare. Our manager, David, had been hinting for months about a lead position opening up. I wanted it badly, not just for the pay raise, but because I'd earned it. I'd been taking on extra projects, staying late, mentoring new hires. People used to joke that I practically lived there. I didn't mind. I liked the quiet after everyone left, the hum of computers, the smell of burnt coffee. It felt like progress. There was this guy, though. His name was Evan. He joined about 2 years ago. A little younger than me, maybe 31, sharp dresser, nice voice, always confident, maybe too confident. He had that kind of charm that made people listen, even when he wasn't saying anything new. I never disliked him. At first, I actually liked having him around. He was ambitious, motivated, someone who made the place feel less stale. But then things started shifting. I began noticing small things. Numbers in the reports we'd co-authored didn't match the originals I'd worked on. He'd send final drafts to management without looping me in. I brushed it off at first, thought maybe I'd missed something. But then clients started reaching out to him directly about projects I'd built from scratch. It was weird. I didn't want to sound paranoid, but it felt like he was slowly erasing my fingerprints from the work. I talked to my friend Sarah, who worked in HR. She'd been there as long as I had, maybe longer. She's one of those people who always listens before reacting. I told her about my concerns, how some of my data visualizations and client strategies had been presented in meetings without my name attached. She frowned, said she'd keep an eye out, but warned me to tread carefully. If he's cozy with upper management, this could backfire, she said quietly. That part stuck with me. I didn't want to start office drama. The place was already full of politics. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling something was off. The next few weeks confirmed it. I overheard Evan talking to David in the break room one afternoon, saying things like, "Yeah, that project was a challenge, but I managed to get it across the finish line." My project. He was taking credit right in front of me. When I walked in, both of them fell silent. David smiled awkwardly and said, "Good work on that analytics rollout, guys." I felt my stomach twist. I didn't correct him. I just nodded and walked out. The worst part wasn't even the lie. It was the silence that followed it. The way nobody wanted to touch it. Around that time, I started losing sleep. I'd go home, heat up something quick, stare at the TV without really watching. My girlfriend, Mara, noticed. We'd been together 3 years, living in this small apartment near South Lamar. She'd ask if I was okay, and I'd tell her I was just tired. She didn't push, but I could tell she was worried. I'd catch her watching me sometimes, like she wanted to say something but didn't know how. Then, one Friday afternoon, the promotion announcement came through email. I was shaking when I opened it. Evan had been promoted, lead data operations specialist. That was supposed to be my title. My heart sank so fast I couldn't even process it at first. I just sat there, staring at the screen, reading his name over and over. It didn't make sense. He'd only been there 2 years. I trained him, literally trained him. I'd written half the documentation he used to run his reports. My chest felt tight. I congratulated him later that day, because that's what you're supposed to do. He smiled, slapped me on the back, and said, "Couldn't have done it without you, man." I smiled back, but I could feel the blood drain from my face. The following week, while preparing files for a client handoff, I found something that made my stomach drop. A shared folder on the internal drive, one I'd never noticed before. It contained presentation slides, reports, and code documentation, all my work, but rebranded under his name. Dates had been changed, metadata scrubbed, It was meticulous. He'd been planning it for months. I sat there for a long time staring at the screen. My hands were shaking. I felt sick. The evidence was right in front of me. But what was I supposed to do? Take it to management and look like a jealous coworker? Or worse, someone stirring trouble after losing a promotion? I backed up the files quietly, saving copies on my external drive. Then I went outside and sat in my car for almost an hour, thinking about what to do. Mara called twice. I ignored both times. My head was spinning. By Monday, word had spread about Evan's promotion. Everyone congratulated him in the group chat, calling him the golden boy. He walked around smiling, confident, owning the place. I avoided him as best I could, but inside I was boiling. Sarah caught me in the hallway that afternoon. She looked at me like she already knew. I handed her a flash drive and said quietly, "You might want to see this." She didn't ask questions, just nodded. That night, she called me from her car. She sounded shaken. I looked through it. She said, "This isn't just copying. It's fraud. He altered financial reports." I felt my heart pounding. "So what happens now?" I asked. She hesitated. "If we report this, it's going to blow up. It'll go all the way to corporate. They'll audit everything. You'll get dragged into it too. Are you sure you want that?" I didn't answer. I just sat there listening to the static over the line. She said she'd sleep on it, but we both knew this wasn't going to stay quiet for long. When I hung up, I realized I hadn't eaten all day. I stood in the kitchen, lights off, staring at the reflection in the window. For the first time in a long time, I didn't recognize the man looking back at me. I didn't sleep that night. My mind kept looping through every conversation I'd had with Evan, every project we'd worked on, every email I'd sent that he might have copied or twisted. I felt stupid. Stupid for trusting him, stupid for keeping quiet when I saw the signs. I thought about my dad again, about how he used to come home smelling like engine oil, saying things like, "A man's word is his bond." He believed in honesty the way other people believe in religion. I used to think that made him old-fashioned. But now I realized he was right. The world runs on reputation. Once it's gone, you're done. By morning, I decided to confront Sarah in person. I got to work early, around 7. The office was quiet except for the hum of the vending machine. She was already there, sitting at her desk with her coffee and that same worried look she'd had the night before. She motioned for me to close the door. "They're looking into it," she whispered. "But this could go sideways fast. If management thinks you were involved, or that this was some kind of collaboration, you'll have to defend yourself too." That hit me like a punch. I hadn't thought of that. I was so focused on proving what Evan did that I didn't stop to think how deep the damage might go. "Do they know it was me who found it?" I asked. She shook her head. "Not yet. I just forwarded it to compliance as an anonymous submission. But they'll trace it eventually." I rubbed my temples. So either I stay quiet and let a liar take credit for my work, or I speak up and risk losing everything. "Yeah," she said softly. "That's pretty much it." The rest of the day was a blur. Evan walked around like nothing was wrong, handing out updates, planning meetings, acting like a boss. He'd even changed his email signature to include his new title. Watching him made my blood boil. Every time he smiled, I wanted to wipe it off his face. But anger wasn't going to help me. I needed to be smart. That evening, Mara and I went out for dinner. She insisted. I think she wanted to pull me out of whatever hole I'd fallen into. We went to this small place downtown called the Copper Table. Dim lights, quiet music. Normally, I'd love that kind of place. But I could barely taste my food. "What's going on?" she asked finally, setting down her fork. "You've been somewhere else for days." I hesitated. I'd been trying to keep her out of it, but I couldn't anymore. So I told her everything. From the moment I noticed the missing credits to the flash drive and the conversation with Sarah. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she leaned back and said, "You can't just let that slide. If you stay silent, you're helping him." "I know," I said, "but if I go public, it could destroy my career. You don't come back from something like that easily." She shook her head. "Maybe not. But living with that kind of lie will destroy you too." Her words stuck. I didn't answer right away. I just stared at my glass, watching the condensation slide down. The next few days were tense. You could feel it in the air. Rumors started spreading about a data audit. People whispered in the break room. Evan looked nervous, though he tried to hide it. His confidence started to crack. He'd glance at his phone constantly, step out for calls that lasted too long. I could tell he knew something was wrong. On Thursday morning, HR sent out a company-wide email about an internal compliance review. That's corporate talk for someone's in trouble. My stomach turned when I read it. I didn't know if I should feel relief or fear. Later that day, I got called into David's office. He asked me to close the door. The blinds were half drawn, and the sunlight made sharp lines across the floor. He didn't waste time. "Evan's under investigation," he said. "We found some inconsistencies in his project files." I tried to keep my face neutral. "Inconsistencies?" "Yeah," he said slowly, watching me. "We're still sorting it out. But your name came up. Some of the data in question originated from your projects." I felt my throat tighten. "Because they were my projects," I said carefully. He nodded. "I figured as much. But I have to ask, did you have any involvement in altering those files?" I met his eyes. "None. I'd never do that." He studied me for a moment, then leaned back. "All right. You're a good worker, Leo. Always have been. I want to believe you." That should have made me feel better, but it didn't. I left his office feeling like the walls were closing in. Once an investigation starts, you're guilty until proven innocent. The next few days were chaos. People were pulled into private meetings. HR kept calling employees one by one. Evan stopped showing up to work altogether. His office light stayed off. Some said he was suspended, others said he'd been told to work from home. Sarah texted me on Saturday morning. "It's done," she wrote. "They found the proof." I sat on the couch for a long time, just staring at those words. Proof. After all those sleepless nights, all the self-doubt, it was over. That Monday, they called an all-staff meeting. David stood at the front with one of the HR directors. They kept it professional, didn't name anyone, just said there had been ethical violations discovered during a review and that the company was taking appropriate action. But everyone knew who they meant. Evan's desk was already cleared out. His nameplate gone. People whispered as they left the room. Some looked relieved, others curious. No one looked at me directly, but I could feel their eyes. They all knew I had something to do with it. Sarah met me in the hallway afterward. "You should be proud," she said. "You did the right thing." I nodded, but I didn't feel proud. I just felt tired. When I got home that night, Mara hugged me like I'd come back from war. She made dinner, poured me a drink, told me she was proud. But something in me still felt broken. I thought I'd feel vindicated, but all I felt was empty. Because even though he was gone, the promotion was gone too. The company froze the position pending reevaluation. David said they'd reopen it in a few months. But deep down, I knew they wouldn't. Evan had left a mess behind, and I was part of it now. My name might have been cleared, but not my peace of mind. That night, lying in bed, I stared at the ceiling, thinking about everything that had happened. I'd fought to protect my reputation, but in doing so, I'd lost something else. Maybe trust, maybe faith. I wasn't sure anymore. A week after the company meeting, the office started to feel different. Quieter, tense. People avoided eye contact. Conversations stopped when I walked into a room. I guess that's the price of being the whistleblower, even if no one says it out loud. They act polite, but I can tell they see me differently now. Like I'm someone to be careful around. The kind of person who keeps receipts. I don't blame them. Everyone's just trying to survive in their own way. I tried to settle back into my work, but it wasn't the same. Every time I opened a spreadsheet or wrote an email, I double-checked every detail. I didn't trust anyone with my files anymore. I kept personal backups, password-protected everything. The job had turned into something paranoid, joyless. But at least I still had it. David started checking in with me more often. He'd stop by my desk, ask how things were going, if I was holding up all right. It felt genuine, but there was also a distance in his tone, like he didn't know how to talk to me anymore. Maybe he felt guilty for believing Evan. Maybe he just didn't want another scandal. One afternoon, he asked me into his office again. "Listen," he said, closing the door. "I know things have been rough lately, but you handled yourself well. The higher-ups noticed. They're restructuring the department soon, and there's a chance we'll be opening that lead position again." My heart jumped. "You mean the one Evan had?" He nodded. "Yes, but I want you to think about it before applying again. This place can be political. You'd be dealing with people who might still hold grudges." I nodded slowly. I understand. I did understand, but the truth was, I didn't know if I even wanted it anymore. That position used to mean everything to me. Now it felt poisoned. That night, Mara and I sat on the balcony with a couple of beers. The air was cool, the city lights soft in the distance. She asked if I'd apply for the promotion again. I told her I didn't know. You deserve it, she said. Maybe, I said. But I'm not sure I want to keep fighting in a place where doing the right thing feels like losing. She looked at me quietly for a moment, then said, sometimes doing the right thing costs you something. That doesn't mean it wasn't right. I didn't answer. She was right. But that kind of logic doesn't help when you're the one paying the price. A few days later, I got a call from an unknown number during lunch. It was Evan. His voice sounded different, shaky, almost apologetic. I froze when I heard him say my name. Leo, man, I just wanted to say I'm sorry, he said. You didn't deserve what happened. I messed up bad. I didn't say anything. I just listened. He went on, saying how he'd been desperate to prove himself, how he thought manipulating the reports would get him ahead, how it all spiraled once he started lying. I lost everything, he said. Job, reputation, friends. I can't even get interviews now. I didn't feel sorry for him, but I didn't feel angry either. Just tired. You earned that, I said finally. He sighed. Yeah, I know. I just needed to tell you I'm sorry. That's all. Then he hung up. I sat there for a while after that, just staring at my food. The thing is, part of me did understand him. Not the lying, but the desperation. The need to be seen. The fear of being invisible. I'd been close to that line myself once or twice, when the grind felt endless and nobody noticed. Maybe that's what scared me most, that I wasn't all that different from him, just luckier in my choices. The company's audit wrapped up officially the following week. HR sent a brief notice thanking employees for their cooperation and commitment to integrity. No names, no closure, just cold formality. Sarah came by my desk later that day. She smiled, but her eyes looked tired. They're closing the file, she said quietly. You're in the clear. No record, no flags. You're good. Thanks, I said. For everything. She shrugged. You did the hard part. I just passed it along. Still, I knew she'd risked her job to help me. I owed her more than I could say. Over the next month, I tried to rebuild my rhythm. Woke up early, went for runs, stopped checking my email after hours. I was trying to create distance between who I'd been before all this and who I was now. But there was this constant restlessness I couldn't shake. Like something inside me had shifted for good. Mara noticed it too. One night she said, "You don't talk about work anymore." I told her there wasn't much to say. "That's not true," she said softly. "You used to care. Now you sound like you're waiting for an excuse to leave." She wasn't wrong. I'd started thinking about that more and more, about leaving, starting over somewhere new. A clean slate. Then, out of nowhere, I got an email from a recruiter. They'd seen my profile on LinkedIn and wanted to talk about a data strategy role at another company. Better pay, smaller team, flexible hours. I almost deleted it, but something stopped me. I scheduled the interview. The interview went well. The manager, a woman named Denise, was sharp and straightforward. She asked about my experience leading projects and navigating workplace conflicts. When I hesitated, she smiled slightly and said, "You don't have to be polite. Every company has politics. What matters is how you handle them." I liked her honesty. A week later, she offered me the job. When I told David, he nodded slowly. "Can't say I'm surprised," he said. "You've been through a lot. You deserve a fresh start." He shook my hand. It felt genuine. My last day at Valence felt strange. No send-off party, no speeches, just quiet goodbyes. Sarah gave me a small note that said, "Don't let this place define your worth." I still keep it in my wallet. That evening, I packed up my desk, took one last look around, and walked out. The sun was setting, painting everything orange. For the first time in months, I felt light. That night, Mara and I celebrated with cheap pizza and a movie. I laughed for the first time in a while. She looked at me and said, "You look like yourself again." I smiled. Feels like it. Still, as I lay in bed later, I thought about Evan. About how one person's lies had nearly wrecked years of my work. About how close I'd come to losing everything because I believed hard work would always protect me. Maybe that's the real lesson here. Hard work matters, but it isn't armor. The world doesn't always reward honesty. Sometimes it just tests it. It's been 8 months since I left Valence. I'm 37 now, working as a data strategy consultant for a small firm called NovaPoint Analytics. The pace is slower, the people are kinder, and the culture feels like an actual team, not a battlefield. My boss, Denise, keeps her word. She respects boundaries, values transparency, and makes sure credit goes where it's earned. It shouldn't be rare to find that, but it is. Sometimes I still catch myself double-checking everything I send, saving backups, scanning for hidden traps. Old habits die hard when you've been burned. I wish I could say I moved on completely, but that would be a lie. There are still days when something small triggers me. A coworker forgetting to copy me on an email. Someone presenting a group project without naming everyone involved. My chest tightens, and for a second, I'm back in that office again, watching someone else take credit for what I built. It's strange how betrayal leaves echoes like that. You don't forget it. It just gets quieter over time. Mara and I are still together. Things got rocky for a bit after everything happened. I was distant, constantly in my head. She tried to understand, but I know I made it hard. It wasn't until after I left Valence that I realized how much I'd carried home every night. The stress, the anger, the humiliation. It all bled into us. One night, she told me she felt like she was living with a ghost. That hit me. So I started talking again. About work, about the sleepless nights, about how I didn't trust anyone anymore. She didn't fix it, but she listened. That was enough. Sometimes we walk by the old office building on our evening walks downtown. She always glances up, but I look away. I don't hate the place. I just don't want to give it space in my mind anymore. It took enough already. A few weeks ago, I got an email from Sarah. She's still at Valence, though she's thinking of leaving soon. She said the environment hasn't changed much. Different faces, same politics. They're still pretending integrity is a slogan, she wrote. That line made me laugh in a bitter way. She also told me David retired early and Evan apparently moved to another city. No idea where. Maybe trying to start over too. I thought about replying, asking if he ever reached out to anyone else, but then decided not to. There's nothing left to say. I've already had my closure. My work at Nova Point has been steady. We consult for mid-sized healthcare companies, helping them clean up data systems and improve analytics. It's not glamorous, but it's honest work. The first project I led here was small, just a 2-week audit for a hospital network, but it reminded me why I started doing this in the first place. I like solving problems. I like making things better. Somewhere along the line, I'd forgotten that. Last month, Denise called me into her office. She handed me a folder and said, "We're promoting you to senior consultant. You've earned it." I just stared at her for a second, processing it. "You're serious?" She smiled. "You've done good work, Leo. You've been reliable, consistent, and the clients trust you. That's what leadership looks like." I thanked her, but as I walked out, something unexpected hit me. I didn't feel the rush I thought I would. I wasn't jumping out of my skin with pride like before. It just felt calm. Right. Like I'd finally gotten something I didn't have to fight dirty for. That night, Mara and I celebrated at home. She made my favorite pasta, poured a glass of red wine, and toasted to a promotion that actually means something. I laughed, maybe harder than I should have. Later, when she fell asleep, I sat on the balcony alone for a while. The city was quiet except for a few cars in the distance. I thought about how life had turned out, about all the sleepless nights, the fear of losing everything, the people who helped me when I didn't even ask. I realized something then. Sometimes justice doesn't feel like victory. It just feels like peace. I used to think integrity was about telling the truth, but now I see it's also about surviving it. When you expose something ugly, it doesn't just disappear. It leaves a mark on you too. But that mark, if you let it, becomes a kind of armor. Not the kind that makes you hard, but the kind that makes you steady. A couple of days ago, I got another unexpected email. It was from Evan again. Just a short message this time. "Hey Leo, I heard you're doing well. I'm working part-time now, trying to rebuild. I still think about what I did, and I'm sorry. I mean that. Hope you're doing all right." I stared at it for a long time. I didn't reply, not because I was angry, but because I didn't need to. He didn't owe me anything, and I didn't need an apology to move on. Some things don't need a full circle. They just need an ending. The next morning, I deleted the email and went on with my day. I drove to work early, stopped for coffee at the corner shop, and watched people rush by in their own worlds. I thought about all the small choices that changed the course of a life, the ones that seem harmless at the time. A white lie here, a shortcut there. I guess it's never the big decisions that define you. It's the small ones you repeat until you forget who you are. As I walked into the office, one of my teammates, a new hire named Ryan, asked me to review his report before sending it to the client. I caught a small mistake in his data and showed him how to fix it. He thanked me, said he appreciated me taking the time. It was nothing, really, but I remembered how I'd once been in his shoes, hungry, nervous, trying to prove myself. And I realized that's where I want to be now. Not competing, not surviving, just helping. That night, before bed, Mara asked me if I ever wished things had gone differently back then. I thought about it for a while. Sometimes, I said, but if they hadn't, I'd probably still be there. Still believing hard work was enough. Still blind. She smiled faintly and said, then maybe it happened the only way it could. Maybe she's right. Maybe that's the point of all this. To learn that integrity doesn't guarantee success, but losing it guarantees regret. I don't talk about that chapter of my life much anymore. When people ask why I left my old company, I just say, it was time. They don't need the details. I've made peace with what happened, with who I became because of it. The scars are there, sure, but they're quiet now. And I can finally look in the mirror again without feeling like I failed myself.